Hargreaves, chance for Torquay! Chris Hargreaves, the captain! If he stays onside, Carlisle checks instead. He's looking for Benyon. Sells!
Hello, welcome to the latest Goals I View, brought to you by Galaxy TQ. I'm joined by Dom.
Good evening, guys.
I'm joined by Tom.
Evening all. We won again. Yes, get in.
He won there. Chris can't be with us tonight. Right, so where do we start? Are we talking about the Taunton game first? It's not really, I mean, it's not really much I was talking. New signings. We'll start with new signings if we go back to where we recorded. So since we last recorded, it was Corey Andrews. That feels like very old news now, but Corey Andrews left. Dom, what are your thoughts? He's going to score 20 goals, isn't he? Most of them.
God. Do I have to waste any more breath?
No. And then
he might come good now.
Good
if he does, we'll be even more gutted, won't we?
Yeah, he's gone now. It might be a location. Oh, I don't know. There's so many factors it could have been.
We even got money for him.
Yeah,
that's
amazing.
Crazy. We got money for him.
Haven't spent it though, have we?
That's deal of the century, Tom. That is
all the FA Cup money. And then we brought in players now. Don't want to judge him yet, but I'm going to. You shouldn't judge him. So we brought in two players. Obviously, the Southampton lad Lawrence, loaned until the end of the season. Got more hopes for him. Last night, it's hard to judge against Taunton. It's hard to judge when you're playing, no offence, next to Ross Marshall, who's never been in the middle of the defence before. The goals were not clever on all three.
Who played in the middle, Sam, of the
Marshall.
back three?
Marshall. We're going to that bit more in a bit. I felt that he looked more comfortable once Omar had gone off. In the second half, he actually looked all right, but I'm not judging anything properly until I saw a few okay signs there, but I'm not judging anything until we see him against National League opposition. But there's some sort of player there, definitely. And then we signed another, so obviously Goodwin's gone, scored on his debut at Cheltenham, man of the match. It's a big loss. You know, we did say, well, one striker might be better for us. And now we've got another lad, Kroll's come in. Again, really not right for me to sit and judge, but I will just make a few passing statements. So I'm a bit worried about that one. I feel like he should be at the level, if not better. Bear in mind he's coming in on loan. And if he was, I feel like he would have started last night against Taunton. He didn't. When he came on in the 20 minutes, and before he said, "Oh, you're rolling him out," he did the sort of like a youth academy player who was nowhere near ready. That's the vibe I got from him.
It's tough because he wants to play a one up front formation.
Yeah. Which I'm all fully behind. I'm all fully behind, but just when you just get the vibe. I don't know if it's it's learning curves, but we need someone who's. If Jarvis gets injured now, we need someone who's going to bang in the goals. And he just, he looked slower to everything. He looked a bit like a rabbit in the headlights.
Just trying to get to the tempo of a game. That's the trouble. When you come down from those kind of softly games.
I feel like I do not want to rule him out completely straight away, but it did feel like a bit of a player we've seen many times that needs a couple seasons or games and spells in the few tiers below. Anyway. Hopefully,
we need these players to be good. That's
we need these players to be.
They got to be good straight away. They can't. We can't wait 2 months for them to get up to speed. They got to get up to speed very quickly.
We have rumours of this lad who he's at Maidstone now, that defender, isn't he?
Can't even get into their first team.
No, I mean, I just read in tweets. I haven't even looked into it. I'll be honest with you. But didn't he play at a high level and come back down? And then he played at Weymouth as well, but he can't get into Maidstone's team. I'm not going to roll it out until I see him. These things happen, but I've noticed. I guess it's more of a coach way, but I've noticed the last 2 Torquay games I've been to, Noel Thompson's been around. I guess he's part of the coaching setup because I think he got into the coaching like a player coach at Truro, wherever he was last. But I've noticed Noel Thompson around, which is all right. I love Noel Thompson. He gets the club as well. But I guess that's definitely a coaching staff role more than anything. But Johnson wasn't.
I think it's frustrating looking at signings a little bit because you got someone like
looking at Yeovil. Have we got weaker? That's what I'm saying.
We compare ourselves to somebody like Yeovil, don't they? Who aren't a good team at all, but they've signed 2 players
in the same location,
2 young players that who both have got good
Where's
experience.
the FA Cup money? Where's Coriandra's
And
money?
they've signed players permanently as well, so they'll be signed on for next year. Where we've signed players like Aguiar's only for a month's loan, is he? So he could go back. Ours seems to be a very short term.
It is a worry. It is a big worry.
It's a short term push to try and save us, whereas other teams look like they're building for next season. We're just hoping
we can't afford to build for next season because we have no idea where we're going to be. But
the reality is, though, unfortunately, you're not going to get experienced players coming down now. You're only going to be able to rely on the really youngsters.
Should be, though. Yeah, but they should. If they're going to be youngsters, they need to be National League League Two standard.
Yeah, it's a difficult situation, really.
Of course.
It just feels like
we've put ourselves into it, though.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Partly because we don't have any other National League teams around us either, because some of these northern teams swap players around. So I'll go down the road and play for them.
Of course I do, you're right. They all go in the north.
Yeah, that's it. And they don't want to have to move down here. It's trouble, especially when there's no money to attract them. So that's where we are.
No, we're in a big mess. That's been well publicised by us and many Torquay fans. But I'm just saying, I feel we might have got weaker. But if you're getting a bit weaker, but the morale's better, say if you've got players that didn't want to be here, players that caused trouble in the dressing room, always think of that Nicholson team that did the two great escapes. Especially was it the first one or second one? I think it's the second one, actually, when they basically the score was nowhere near big enough or good enough. And they just rallied together and they got some great results together. So it's
Let's face it, we won't win any games before, will we? So we're shaking it up. Things might get better. So,
and the thing is, we've had some good. We've had Ellis, we had Ellis and Ness. And I read an article where everyone's saying, Ness could even go higher than League One in a year or so. And he's getting man of the match at Charlton now, and we were still losing games.
He was playing at Old Trafford, wasn't he? Yeah, a couple of weeks ago in the League Cup.
So
quality player.
Yeah, very good. So, and we were still losing games then. So, yikes!
We've lost a lot of experience, haven't we? Really, to some regard, with Wern going and Ellis going back, but again, it's these youngsters coming in. Got to give them a shout, give them a go.
Yeah, give them a go. It's a bit like the Gary Hours season, isn't it?
It just feels like we've been patching this team up since the beginning of the summer. And it's just, as we keep mentioning,
is he still injured? Does anyone know?
Who knows?
Not that they won't tell us. All right, should we go to the game from last night? Obviously, it was going to be the Bromley game last night, and it was going to be towards the weekends. Club decided not to, warn of a pitch inspection. Why would they? So that got cancelled, and then it got moved to the much more important game last night. Well done, Taunton. They come what you thought they were going to do. The first season in the South, but amazing achievement for them to get to there. No disrespect to them at all. But it was just like the National League South games, where the first half, those sort of teams seemed to be around it, and then second half they were tired to the sort of full team Torquay. Anyway, last night, it was a tough watch. So started the game, couldn't really get any possession. The first 10 minutes was basically just our back three passing it back to Halstead because Taunton kept losing the ball, and then it was this repetitive thing. And then there's two brilliant pieces of quality in the game. First one, Dylan De Silva's got it. He's cutting so his left foot, beautiful goal curling. Dylan De Silva last night seemed to not be able to cross it with his right foot, but he seemed to have a pretty good shot on his weaker left foot. But
it's strange, isn't it?
And then he'd score that well, you think, this guy's class above. And then he goes to put a cross in, it goes up for a goal kick, and you're like, please find some consistency. It's so annoying those players.
That's a typical winger, Sam, isn't it?
Yeah.
Typical winger. Anything can happen from one day to the next.
Yeah, so we go
he's always worth playing, isn't he?
We go 1-0 up, and then nicely set piece, good out of Aliomar. He made a good tackle, but his back three, they always looked a bit wobbly. Around it, you had Aliomar on the left, you had Marshall in the middle, and then Lawrence on the right centre back. And
who's in charge of those three? That's the trouble between them. They tried to experience.
And then it's just the two goals. I don't know if you've seen it on the highlights, but it's just so typical. You think, Marshall's won a couple, Aliomar's won a couple. That looks all right. And we know Taunton. I'm going to say it now. No disrespect for what I'm about to say, but they are, quite a few stands below, because that's what National League South is compared. And I was sat there going, we get relegated to this league, you know, it's a big drop. The South is always understandably a lot weaker than the North in a lot of ways. And in the Conference North, I'm talking about in the Tier 6. But you think 2-0, and all of a sudden, I think the Newcastle and Swindon, it goes down. We lose concentration. It's not a foul. He's fine. Afterwards, might have hurt a little bit. Lose concentration. The back three just completely go missing. Don't know where they've gone. They had a warning earlier on. Don't know where they've gone. 2-1. You're thinking, really? Right. And then again, similar thing. It just goes missing. Like Marshall, give him a duel against another player. He'll win it most of the time. You think, oh, he's getting all right. It's just the lack of.
Isn't clever enough, is he?
He isn't clever enough. So when I say duel, I mean like a long ball striker's here. He was quite good at that. He's a good build. He's quite strong. And then as soon as he has to think, oh, I need to move there, it's not just Marshall, but they've got no positional awareness. So when you put Omar and Marshall, just don't anticipate anything. If you think Taunton are doing that, imagine what like Notts were doing in those situations. So it's 2-2.
Very similar players, aren't they? They both get ball watching, and
they get caught ball watching,
and players can easily run behind them.
And unless they have two very good players either side of them, and then 2-2, you're thinking, oh my god, what on earth is going to happen here? Like, they get a man sent off. I'll have to see it again. I didn't think it was a red when I first saw it. It was a bit high. I'll have to see it again. It wasn't one I think, oh, that's going to be a red.
I saw the highlights and it was pretty high, but at this level, you didn't get away with it, didn't you? I think.
Yeah, and then so it's just poor. The first 15 minutes of the second half, I was getting like a.
Nothing seemed to happen. I was following the updates because I wasn't there. And there was no updates at all. I thought they might have called the game off.
You know, I don't know. I think it's a foreign game where fans brought arrows towards the goal because they haven't scored in like 5 or 6 games. You've seen it on like Twitter loads of times. It felt like that for a good 5 or 10 minutes, where like the whole I was on the pop side, everyone's going, that one, play it to that one. And you've got Halstead. I thought he's going to pass that one in a minute because he's like trying to get do something. He's captain last night. Halstead, do something, just do that.
Forward.
Oh, it was awful. And then like it sums up Evans, who did not have a good game at all. Sorry, did not. Evans will get the ball, we cut inside. New Swindon lads, I'm butchering his surname, so but Aguari, I can't remember it now. It did all right. Yeah, Aguiar, that's it. He's in the middle, acres of space, tapping. Everyone just doesn't look up. Oh, he plays it to him, then plays a bad ball. It's just that kind of thing. And by that point, I think it's about 55, 60. Taunton had got to the part time. They're playing with 10 men. They stopped coming into our half then because they're so tired. So then it was basically just a training exercise of Torquay trying to break down. Oh my god, I was slagging off Ben White. I was like,
it was a good goal, that third one, wasn't it?
I was just like, he's not offering anything going forward. He gets the ball, brilliant bit of skill, knocks it past, puts the most incredible ball in. Jarvis finally times one of his headers, beautiful header, 3-2, and you think that's got to be it now. And then it was everyone sort of coming to confidence. We brought on, Omar went off, and then Lawrence, new centre back, went over to left centre back, which isn't his strong foot, but he just seemed to be more. I think it's because they had the kind of the initiative in the game then, but he did seem a totally different player. He was getting on the ball. He's quite useful. He's quite fast as well. He can go forward quite well. And then there was brought Donlin to centre back. So immediately it was a little bit more solid. Brought Hansen midfield. Hansen, I was talking to work colleague today in our lunch break. Ross was watching about Torquay today, and Hansen comes on. I thought he looks useful. His pass accuracy was really good, but it's kind of like you would hope it would be. You know, he does. I'll get the ball, pass ball, and move it. But against the high opposition, is he going to be the midfielder that breaks the lines?
You're not going to get the time, are you?
I don't think it'd break the lines. You know, so he comes on. It's fine. 3-2 up. It's in the ascendancy. Then is it a penalty? I didn't think it was going to be a penalty. You know, he's gone to block it. I'd have to watch it again. But again,
his arms were up. What I could tell.
Yeah, maybe it was. And then after a long wait, we make it 4-2, and it's like game over then. But yeah, it was not a good watch.
Who was given man of the match then?
I can't remember. Probably
Jarvis, I guess, was it?
Jarvis, maybe.
Jarvis. Yeah.
Jarvis. I mean, there's no standouts. Jarvis for taking his 2 goals well. Lapsy ran about a lot. He did all right. Tottenham's all right. White did brilliant on third goal. House didn't have a chance with either of the goals. He caught a corner right well. Not impressed really with a lot of the performances. Evans.
You can't get overly excited about that, can you?
But even if we had won, we'd be like, we're not excited. But then the fact is, we struggled against 10 men Taunton.
Yeah.
That's
if we'd have
even
won
more
3-0 without any hiccups in defence, should be pretty
Evans
happy.
needs to do. It's not good enough from Evans. I keep badgering on because I expect so much more. I'm not expecting to be like a full Lemon Evans, but he's come from Cardiff on a season-long loan. If he's serious about making it as a professional footballer and you're really struggling to stand out in this team, it's all right. Good win at Bayern's, but he showed that he can play at a high level. I thought Evans was going to be that. I thought Evans would probably be like the best technical player in our squad this season. I really thought he's going to be the one.
I think the difference with Goodwin is he had a bit of stature about him. He was quite a big, muscular player. And that makes a lot of difference at this level. He was stronger. Okay, but I think Evans is quite a small chap.
But his touch and passing needs to be better. It needs to be better.
I think he just finds it harder to do what he wants to do.
Oh, the set pieces were terrible. Apart from the second goal, the corners were terrible last night.
We were saying when we done before we started recording, the set pieces have to be so much better than they are.
Oh, they're shocking last night. I couldn't feel my feet.
McGavin's our best set piece.
Drove back in snow. No, it was a bit of a laugh though. It was quite funny at 2-2 when it was just chaos.
Do you think if the red card hadn't happened, we would have won that?
Yeah.
Because we had that in our National League South year, didn't we? Even the good sides, all we would have to do is hold them out for 70 minutes and then our fitness will take over.
Yeah, no, I think we still have won. I'm not confident. I just feel like we didn't play well till. I just feel like, that's the thing about the South. As long as you're kind of ahead or drawing at 70th minute, but that just shows it's embarrassing. Really, that's why it's not a huge.
I mean, for me, unfortunately, I was working last night, but I only unfortunately, but I caught track of the last 20 minutes when the game was won. For me, I suppose it was job done. We won the game, which ultimately is the most important thing. Scored some goals. I mean, yes, the two we conceded are dreadful to concede, especially against
I got my ticket refunded. That's positive. There's people might think I'm negative today. I bought my ticket the day before. It didn't come through, so I was like questioning myself. And then I brought another one that didn't come through. So I went in and then you brought two. So the happiness in me at that moment went, anyone want my ticket? No one answered. I was like, yeah, it's fine. And then at 2-2, I was like, I'm getting a refund. Told them.
I think we'll take the positives from the evening.
Yeah, I think you got to be positive.
Yeah, we're going to go relegated and win the FA Trophy. That's my positive. Trip to Wembley.
Well, obviously you got to focus on the league because the league's the bread and butter.
No, we're down. FA Trophy. I want to go Wembley.
I've already booked it off. It's happening. It's going to happen.
Do we get in Europa League if we win the FA Trophy?
We missed out on that. We missed out on that Scottish, Welsh, Irish thing, didn't we, in the National League during COVID? I remember. I think the team who finished.
They should start that. I love the trip to Aden Athletic away.
Could you imagine?
They had Glasgow Rangers, didn't they? Somebody, wasn't it? I can't remember.
Didn't Wrexham do it? I'm sure that was a thing before COVID.
I have a vague memory of that.
That was the one thing I was looking forward to in our really good seats. I was like, yes, we're going to go on this adventure. We're going to go all the way up to the top of Scotland, and COVID kind of killed all that. But I think going back to the game, from a positive standpoint, it's another win. So we've now got back-to-back wins, if that's any consolation you can take from that. We were able to rest key players. Moxie got a rest, Asa had a rest. So I suppose from that regard, they should be ready to go.
Very positive. Very good, Tom.
I don't want to. I always get assumed that I'm too negative in these, so I've got to try and find the positives. But again, I haven't been to a Torquay game for ages. It seems.
That's why you're positive.
I know, boring, but on Saturdays maybe.
I was positive. I was like, we'll stay up the other day when we signed this. But I watched it last night. I was like, Christ.
Overall, there were no real injuries from what I remember.
Went off.
Did he?
Yeah. But
We've won the game. We're invited into the last 16. It's another home tie, which is what you want if you're going to take this competition seriously. So I think we're going to have like 5 home games on the trot now or something, because Chesterfield will get moved, won't it?
That is a positive.
I hope that pitch holds out. But that's how I see it. Another National League South team bites the dust against us. Yeah, what?
Well, that'll be my title next season.
Hampton bit the dust, Chippenham bit the dust.
Stop this! It's not happening. But I think there is positives. I had some of the things that Tom had, so I had a little list because personally I don't like the FA Trophy. I mean, the further you get, the more it puts you off the league for me.
If we don't want to look at the league anyway.
We play in Barnet, we get the Chesterfield game gets moved to a Tuesday, games get closer together. And
yeah, but we've been losing when games haven't been close together. So
as you said, we got a winning habit.
Bit of
forward, haven't we? So that's helped a little bit.
Yeah.
I had Nico Lawrence started his first game, so he's integrated into the team. Gives him a bit of chance to see what he's got to put up with, and how much of a struggle it could be. It was a great goal from De Silva, wasn't it?
Oh, really
yeah, beautiful.
And Wyatt was really. That's what.
And that was a great, Wyatt took him round.
It annoys me more now because I know what they're capable of. I'm not saying they should do it every game, else they wouldn't be playing for Torquay, but just one of you do something useful per game.
But then Wyatt, I think, needed to get up to sharpness as well.
Yeah,
he was sort of in and out of the team, so a little bit injury prone. And that cross for Jarvis has not had many of those to feed on, hasn't he? I mean,
no, he mistimed a couple.
The older shot game, we had a few.
He could have had it. Oh, there's one where Jarvis ran through and you had Evans as a tap in, and he just ran out for a goal kick. That was quite annoying.
That's what we got to do, though. Get to the byline and feed him for headers, because he can score a few.
Jarvis is the positive of this season.
Yeah, he can score a few more, and he's really a key man, isn't he? We're going to get out of this. And I had Ali Omar. That was his first home goal for Torquay, wasn't it? I think.
Yes, because he scored at Wheelstone, didn't he, from his head?
Yep. So that was good. Nice moment for him because he charges up so often.
Literally, what?
Never delivers anything.
I know. I was saying to you, was like watching the highlights. Every time we had a free kick going forward, he was there. He was in the box, wanting to get on the end of everything.
Hey!
Maybe that's it. Just get him up there. But
they do, Tom. Don't they? Every time we get a free kick for about 60 yards out, they all go up. It's like the old.
Yeah, go on, Andy. Up you go. Yeah, go on, lad. Go on, lad. You can do it.
Yeah. So.
But I think looking ahead to Boreham Wood and Woking, I think you'd be very concerned if that back three was going to be the back three if we do play a back three for Saturday. I'd like to think that Gary will bring back the experience.
If that's the back three,
yeah, it won't be the back three with it. Donlan and
Omar
will play with.
And that's why I sort of take yesterday. That's sort of why I take yesterday with a little bit of a pinch of salt, because it's not our full first team, and ultimately, again, we won against lower league opposition, which is the bare minimum to expect in cup competition, even though we're really bad this year. And now it's sort of, okay, we're in the last 16, got another home game against Barnet, who, I mean, Dom, they were rubbish, weren't they, at the Hive when we all went?
Oh, we
never beat them though, did we, Tom?
Well,
even when we were second in the league, we still couldn't beat them that season.
But now they've got to come to us. Yeah, they've got to come to us twice, haven't they, in the space of 7 days? Because it's the trophy, I think, first. Then they got to come back for the league game. I'm sure I saw somewhere on Twitter saying, "Oh, Barnet would have been happy with that draw." I don't think I would have been, but if I was a Barnet fan, having to go to Torquay twice in the space of a week in February or whenever we play them. But yeah, we've got 2 tough games to come on, and I'll take any positive I can. And going on the back of 2 wins. Boreham Wood's home form, they're not brilliant at home. They don't lose many, but they haven't won many. Just doing a bit of research for an article I'm writing. I think they've won 3, drawn 5, and lost 3. So I don't think we should be going in thinking, oh, it's completely hopeless.
Get Nathan Bliss out up front. He sorts Boreham Wood out for us.
Oh, yes. Well, Boreham Wood memories, chaps. Listening in last week, couldn't remember the glorious day that was 2016.
Yeah, that started our Great Escape, didn't it? We were absolutely done. We were more done than, well, I think we're about we were like 7 or 8 points off at that point, and technically we are about that
10,
now.
10. We
10.
were, yeah.
I know because I don't look at Oldham. Like you've got to think games to go. We need 2 or 3 more points than games, and we're like way off that. So we're not quite as dead as we were then. But that
older shot
I mean,
result.
that was the
last night
best great
was a bit
escape,
of a,
wasn't it? That was the best one apart from the dog, I suppose. That was really miraculous.
yeah, because from Boreham Wood onwards, I think that year, we went 8 unbeaten, won 5 in a row, and then had a couple of draws.
Well, let's see
or
if
around
Gary
that,
Johnson's as good as Nicholson.
And we had half the crowd that day, I remember, as well at Boreham Wood. It was, and they
Tuesday
were in the
night,
bottom
wasn't
4
it?
as well.
Was it
They were
Tuesday
in a
night?
relegation fight with us.
It's a Tuesday night.
No, definitely. I'm convinced it was a Saturday.
Okay.
We got a chance. I mean, score the first goal will help, won't it? I mean, so often we go to Boreham and lose 1-0 because they get the first goal and we can't do anything. So
They're always quite
tough
tightly contested
defence, haven't
games.
they?
It's a good manager.
Yes.
Very good manager.
Good manager. They're organised. They always have a decent FA Cup run, don't they? And
They still have.
get
It's a shame their game.
Nathan Ashmore, don't they? That's still a problem.
Yeah. It's a shame
Is
their
he
game got
going
called
for
off
it?
on Tuesday night.
Yeah, he's so good.
Yeah.
So we could really do points against them because then it's Woking away and
We have to start winning games. I don't care.
Woking are just.
We have look. We take a point in these two, Bournemouth and Woking, but we have to win because we've messed up so badly. We're at the point now. I don't care who we're playing.
I still think we need
to win.
I'll maintain. I still think we need to win at least 2 of the next 3. Maidstone at home, absolutely.
Yeah, I've gone past what games we have to win now because we've messed it up so badly that we just have to win loads now. We have to be one of the better teams in the league. I'm afraid. So, like we were under Nicholson. There's your positive.
It's a very tough run, isn't it? If you look going further, I don't want to look at February, do we? So,
yeah, I think
Maidstone is very winnable, but these two coming up, I mean, get a win against.
You sort of get the feeling if you can't. You get the feeling if we can't beat Maidstone at home, then it's probably done.
You can't beat. We've gone comfortable at home, So we've got to turn it around anyway.
We've had too many of those games where we should have won, or they've been winnable, and we just thrown them away.
And the games
so
we have
many
won,
away.
and apart from Aldershot, all the games we have won have been flukes anyway. The table doesn't lie. We're terrible. We've been terrible all season. It has to change very quickly. So, I mean, thanks for joining me, you two. Anything else to add? Predictions?
What, for both the games or just one?
We go for both. Go on, Tom.
Well, I'm going to be there, so.
Does that make a difference?
Yeah.
Well, probably did at the start when we weren't losing all the time, but.
I'm going 2-0 Boreham.
2-1 Boreham, but I think we can upset the apple cart there.
I'll say 1-1 Boreham, and then I'll go for Woking to beat us 3-0.
Chris would say 5-1 Torquay.
I just can't see anything against Woking. How many points are they above us? What, 35 points? I mean, it's just embarrassing.
They're a very good side this year. They've recruited.
I will be positive. I won't. 4-1 Woking.
Oh, I'm going to freeze.
I didn't believe that for a second. Did you, Tom? Well, I'm going to be positive.
I think I've seen Woking thrash us 4-1 before. Or they're at Kingfield.
Not a great game.
Oh, I'm going to freeze myself at Woking. Yeah, it's hard to say, but probably we'll get beaten 3-0. But again, if we can get something against Boreham on Saturday, then that changes maybe my predictions.
I think we just got to give it all on Saturday, and Tuesday can take care of itself, can't it? Give it everything on Tuesday, because that's our best on Saturday, and that's our best chance, I think. So we'll see. Asa Hall will come back in, won't he? And they'll play a similar lineup to the Halifax game. It's just got to be a similar performance.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Right, well, there we are then. So
we always have hope, Sam. There's still hope.
I do. I always. I always do. Very, very positive. Happy clapper these days. Right, thank you very much for joining me.
How bad would you have been if we'd have lost last night?
It wouldn't have made much difference. I can't say I was thrilled after what I watched yesterday. Right. Thank you for watching, everyone. Please like and subscribe. It helps us out a lot. Well, that's what everyone says when you watch YouTube video. Go to Galaxy TQ as always. Amazing place. Thank you for sponsoring this video. And we'll see you next week.
Here's Hargreaves, chance for Torquay! Chris Hargreaves, the captain! If he stays onside, Carlisle checks instead. He's looking for Banyan. Sells!